If you click on the WEF website, Davos, you will see that many of their partners are the biggest corporations around the world. You will also learn that many world leaders were once members of their globalist schemes. But to say there's some sort of organised global conspiracy is just that. And you are a conspiracy theorist. Then you was going to start bad-mouthing dear Angela Merkel, probably just on the basis of an unflattering haircut.
I mean, she was another one. I think she was in the same class as Tony Blair and Gordon Brown. You're talking about the head of state of Germany, who was in control of Germany for something like 16, 17 years. Her health minister was also a young global leader, or I can't remember, as young global leader or global leader for tomorrow, but let's just say it's more or less the same thing. Macron was a young global leader. You've got the heads of state or the government leaders of the three largest economies in Europe. And you can see this across the board. In 2019, the World Economic Forum signed a strategic partnership with the United Nations, which at that time was kind of like dubbed by Open Democracy, the website of Open Democracy, as like the ultimate kind of like public-private partnership. It's like the privatization of the United Nations. So we have the world's most important supranational institution more or less signing an agreement which set the World Economic Forum on a similar level to the United Nations. And if people are beginning to wonder about this, they're thinking this is too crazy to be true. I mean, I really do beg them to check this out. Go to the World Economic Forum website, check out the list of the partners. So, you will see the biggest corporations. We're talking about 500, 600 corporations and hedge funds and pension funds and banks and sovereign wealth funds. This is where the world's money resides. And so if you look at it's actually, they very conveniently set it up for people. So you've got it's set up alphabetically. So you've got A for Apple, you've got A for Amazon, you've got A for Alliance, you've got A for Accenture, you've got B for BlackRock, you've got B for Blackstone, you've got B for Bayer, C for Citi. Every single one of the major too big to fail banks in the West are partners of the World Economic Forum. It's weird how we've reached this stage and we're not questioning the amount of influence this organization does wield. And I have to say this, aside from the political influence, the political members of the Young Global Leadership Program, the Young Global Leaders Program, you have the world's most important tech CEOs and founders. So you've got Bill Gates was in the same class as Tony Blair and Gordon Brown. You've got Mark Zuckerberg. You've got Larry Page of Google. You've got the founder of Wikipedia. You've got Jack Ma. You just keep looking at the list. It's like, this is a very cozy club. It is literally almost like the definition of George Carlin's, it's just one big club. And they've created it, and it's been going since the early 70s, and it is now almost on a par with the United Nations. What happened in the UK with Jeremy Corbyn, and the way his reputation was more or less, was dragged through the mud they tried everything until they managed to kind of find success with anti-Semitism, with charges of anti-Semitism. But wherever you look, if you get a genuine leader or a genuine party that really does represent some kind of challenge, then they will do anything to stop that. And what they've done in Canada is I think is absolutely terrifying. When I saw Chrystia Freeland, she's the economy minister of Canada. She's the deputy prime minister of Canada. She's also on the management board of the World Economic Forum. So she was the person who came out and said, like, you know, she announced not only to Canada, but I would say to the world should have been listening to what they did with the bank accounts of these people. That they basically said, we are freezing your bank account because you had the temerity to donate money to an organization that was not remotely illegal until we decided it was. That is the definition of tyranny. And it is weirdly, I mean, like, for anybody on the right, for anybody who is interested in kind of like liberal politics or right-wing politics, this is also an attack on private property. For anybody on the left, it should be terrifying because it's an attack on just basic liberty. The concept that from one day to the next, a bank, and it's not like banks should be the most trusted institutions or the most trusted organizations, and they are given the power to decide, you know, this person's a bit dodgy, we'll just freeze his money. And I mean, there's no due process. There's no, you know, how do you get your money back? How do you reopen? How do you get your insurance account set up again? I mean, it's a staggering amount of power with zero accountability and zero oversight. And that should be on the minds of everybody who is worried about government overreach.